Welcome everyone to the start of the 2014-15 FF2M Asia series. Yes, we are doing highlights for this as well and commentary. I am your FF2M commentator Joseph Wells, and after coming off the back of an amazing FF2M season for the main series, which saw, of course, Thomas Gonzalez win the championship, the focus now shifts on the Asia series. So here is the calendar for you. So we start things off at the famous GUI circuit in Macau before heading off to the Dubai Autodrome in Dubai, then the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi, then the Bahrain International Circuit in Turkey before going off to the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia, and then we finish it all off at the Shanghai International Circuit in China. So 6 weekends, 12 races. Who will walk away as the Asia Series Championship? Obviously last season's Asia Series champion was of course Fabio Lima, winning it for the Tornado team or Spaniel Racing, and of course he will not be in this series of course, so we will be of course having a new champion this season. Here is a layout of the famous track. Personally, in my opinion, it's not really my favourite track. I'll explain one a little bit. But for the feature race, we will have 28 laps. The sprint race will last for 12 laps, and so they are the laps, of course. The feature race, of course, will have a mandatory pit stop, and we should expect those pit stops to happen from lap 9 to 19, so it should all be good. But here is the starting grid then for the first race of the FF2M Asia Series. As you see, it is Cristobal Alvarez for STV Racing on pole position, with Max Verstappen alongside him in second. Daniel Kvyat starts in third, with Esteban Ocon for Willows Jr. in fourth position. Fifth on the grid is the Welshman Benjamin Pryor, followed by Pierre Gasly in sixth position. Seventh on the grid goes to Sam Bird in the OLM Hulk Racing car, and Rio Haryanto starts in 8th for Asia Pedersen. 9th on the grid is Oliver Rowland, followed by Sergei Sirotkin in 10th position for GRM Jr. Then in 11th place we have Jaime Akashwara, who was there towards the end of the season in the main series. He's joined by Mitch Evans, who starts in 12th. Pascal Wehrlein starts in 13th for Shake and Bake, and he's joined by Brendan Hartley, his teammate, who will start in 14th. Nobuharu Matsushita starts in 15th position, with Sean Galao in 16th for Liquid Target. 17th on the grid goes to Artem Markilov, followed by Gencho Chi in 18th for Willows Jr. Not a great qualifying for him indeed. 19th on the grid goes to Roberto Merry, followed by Robin Frins in 20th position. And on the back row of the grid we have Roy Nasali in the OLM Hulk Racing car, and Ma Ching-hua rounds off the grid. So here we are then for the start of the feature race. The lights are about to go out, and the 2014-15 FF2M Asia Series is underway. It's a very good start from Cristobal Alvarez, who gets away well ahead of Max Verstappen as they make their way around this long left-hander, heading in towards the right-hander. But Verstappen back in the slipstream of Alvarez. He's going to try and get him into the right-hander. A good start from Ocon. He's up into third, and Verstappen takes the lead. Max Verstappen leads here in Macau, but Alvarez is not giving up on him as they make their way towards the narrow right-hander. You've got to be careful, boys. You could end up having a concertina affair, and there is contact between Alvarez and Verstappen. Verstappen is out of the race. One of his wheels has gone, and Verstappen, after leading the race, is already out of the race. And there's more carnage. Kento Chi has spun around in the Willows car. He looks like he may have been collected by someone there, but Kento Chi has gone around, and well, not a good start for him indeed, and luckily not to sustain some damage. But we've already got a retirement in the form of Max Verstappen. Let's have a look at what happened here. So let's see. So Alvarez, probably being a little bit too aggressive, broke that a little bit too late, tapped the back of Verstappen, and Verstappen ended up in the wall. Alvarez himself very lucky not to get any damage, so he ends up taking the lead as a result. As meantime, on scene, oh, there was another crash. Ocon has got it into the wall. Gasly was on the inside, and Ocon did not have the steering, did not have the turning circle to get around that right-hander, and Ocon is out of the race. So we actually have two retirements on the first lap. Max Verstappen, and then a corner later, Esteban Ocon. Here's a replay what happened. So let's see. So Alvarez, you can see there, already made the contact with Verstappen. Ocon got held up there. Gasly saw an opportunity on the inside. He was entitled to do that, and unfortunately, Ocon just misjudged the corner and ended up smacking into the wall. A rookie error there from the Frenchman indeed. So a bad start to Willows Jr. here in the FF2M Asia Series, but we now look at Cristobal Alvarez, who's actually got quite a healthy lead now as a result of all that carnage that was going on. He's got a 2-second lead now over Gasly. And we're still obviously on lap 1, of course. This track is usually around a 2-minute lap, of course, especially around these cars. So I expect very long lap times around here, especially in the feature race, of course, seeing as we have 28 laps, as Alvarez now making his way through the tight and twisty turns of this track, round the hairpin before he ends up into the hairpin, probably the most famous hairpin, because obviously, as you can see, it widens out initially, but then as you approach the hairpin, it narrows out, and well, traction over here is very important, because we do expect that maybe the main overtaking spots to possibly come, possibly around about turns 1, 2, and 3. I think the rest of the track is probably not going to be be anywhere for overtaking unless you're very brave, of course. Maybe into the last corner if you're feeling brave as well, especially if the conditions are wet, but we're not expecting any wet conditions today here in the feature race. It is completely bone dry as Cristobal Alvarez is about to complete the first lap of the race and start lap 2 of 28 here at Macau, and obviously he sets the early fastest lap. In fact, we might even actually get under the 2-minute mark because that's a 2-minute one there for Alvarez, so I think we're just going to get under the 2-minute mark around here on this track, but he's opened up the gap now between himself and Pierre Gasly to 2.5 seconds, so that's a gap how it currently stands at this present moment, and that's your top 8 at the moment. Alvarez from Gasly, and then of course I think it was Sorokin who rounded out the top 8 there. Meantime, we've got, here comes Kencho Chi on the inside trying to make a fight back through the field. Be careful, boys, it's very narrow. A little bit of contact there from the AJ. The AJ car there looked like he scraped the outside barrier there, but Kencho Chi managing to find his way through there. As now we look at Kencho Chi, who again is trying to make his way back up through the field. He is charging like crazy right now, as he's now going to attack Alvarez's teammate, that of course being Benjamin Pryor, who didn't get the best of starts himself. In fact, I don't think it is Benjamin Pryor, I think it's someone else. It seems that the liveries that the STV Racing and another team have are quite similar, but Kencho Chi makes his way up through the field and he's making himself up into, I believe that was 18th or 19th position, I'm not quite sure. It's 18th position for the Chinese driver. Obviously he showed some impressive results during the FF2M main series, but not ones that you could be challenging for the lead. Now we look at Jaime Akashwara now then, who is attacking for 9th position. Can't quite get the move straight, but it looks like his teammate, in fact, Akashwara's teammate, is actually going to be pitting at the end of this lap. Akashwara's teammate, of course, being Altan Markelov, as we are more in now then, going around turn 2 there, as in fact Cristobal Alvarez is now coming into the pits this time by, so the race leader is pitting, and he's already opened up a very big lead, it must be said, a 7.8 second gap between himself and Pierre Gasly. It seems that the top 3 have all separated, but now Alvarez just peels off into the pits, goes straight on and into this very long pit. You have to go through a little bust up chicane. Here it is, the left, the right, and then you'll find yourself into the pit lane. Obviously this track hasn't got any buildings around the outside of it on this version of the track, but I am aware that there is a Macau being built which will have buildings around it very soon, and I think that will be released quite soon for Grand Prix 4, so something to look forward to perhaps in the future. But Alvarez makes his pit stop, a 5-second stop from his mechanics, as he now turns off the pit limiter and goes around this left-hander, and let's see who he's going to rejoin. Now, what's interesting is he's got to take some time to build up the speed, because everybody is up to speed, obviously, around that corner. So he's obviously lost a place now to Rio Haryanto, but it looks like he's only going to lose 1 place, because it looks like he might have got himself back up to speed. I think we've got some more side-by-side action going on, as Jaime Akashwara now tries to go around the outside of the AJ car there, and he's got the move done. A fantastic move from Jaime Akashwara, and gets himself up into 9th place. 1 place away now from the points. His next target, of course, being Sergei Sorokin, as the Red Bull driver makes his way around turn number 3 on the track now then. Meantime, now then, we're looking at, I can't quite tell who this is actually. It might be, is this Ollie Rowland we're looking at? I think the helmet looked like Ollie Rowland. But he's now, whoever this is, he's now going side by side. Can he do an Alkashwari move as they go down towards turn number 3? If he's got the overlap, he might do it, and he has done a brilliant overtake. Pretty much textbook to what Jaime Akashwara did a little bit early on. Oh, there's a little bit of contact, but luckily it didn't end up as the same consequence as what happened with Alvarez and Verstappen on the first lap of the race. So luckily, all clean there. And it was Sam Bird, actually. I do apologise. It's Sam Bird, actually, getting past Danny Kvyat to go up into 2nd position. Meantime, the temporary race leader, Pierre Gasly, we're looking at. He's now going to be coming into the pits. Is Bird going to do the same behind him? Let's see, as Gasly just makes his way around the right-hander. And yes, Bird is in as well. Kvyat decides not to go into the pits, so he's going to stay out for an extra lap and lead the race at this point in time. I should expect Alvarez to go through quite easily. I do know for a fact that I believe, is it called the overcut? Sometimes I get the undercut and overcut confused on this version, so someone may need to correct me. But Gasly now being served in his box. Let's see how quick the stop is going to be. And it's a 5.7 second stop, so 10 tenths slower than Alvarez's pit stop a little bit earlier on. But let's see where Gasly feeds out onto the racetrack. He rejoins right in front of this little battle that's going on here. He rejoins in 7th, but he could lose a place, but he's just able to get the overlap in front of Matsushita and holds on to 7th position at this point in time. He's still having to defend though, because Matsushita trying everything he can to get by, and there's a bit of contact there. Matsushita got a tap from behind there, but luckily he didn't end up in the wall, and Furline that was who tapped him from the back. And there's Sam Bird as well. He's got himself caught up in the traffic after his pit stop, and he's down in 10th position behind this battle. Now Danny Kvyat is into the pits. Can he try and take advantage of what's happened with Bird and try and get himself back in front as the mechanics get to work on his car now? Then Kvyat, 5.5 seconds up, 2 tenths quicker than Gasly, his stop a little bit earlier on. Let's see where he comes out. There's Cristobal Alvarez. Haryanto is still to pit, so he will retake the lead once everybody pits, as Gasly is obviously still ahead of Kvyat, and Kvyat now comes out right next to Matsushita and Wehrlein, and there is Bird. Bird's going to try and get him back across because Kvyat is still trying to get up to speed, so Bird able to stay in front of Kvyat after the pit stops. As meantime, Matsushita and Wehrlein continues to scrap for a temporary 7th position. These two are still at the start. Wehrlein's free, but there's more contact there. Bird has hit the back of Matsushita and Kvyat goes through, and that is a very aggressive move from Bird, and as a result Matsushita now finds himself out of the race. That's the second crash we have seen down at turn number 3, and that was all caused by Sam Bird probably getting a little bit too impatient on the brakes there, leaving his braking way too late. Bird looking not to get any damage, but he's lost the place as a result to Danny Kvyat, and Matsushita as a consequence is out of the race. Now we look at Rio Haryanto now then, who has got Alvarez all over the backside of him. Of course, Haryanto not scheduled to pit this lap. He's going to stay out for an extra lap, so Alvarez being held up at the moment by Rio Haryanto, but luckily for him, the guys who have already pitted, Gasly, Kvyat and Bird, they've also got traffic to deal with, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem for Alvarez. The 3 guys behind him on the track, Pryor, Sirotkin and Akashwara, those 3 guys are also yet to pit, along with Haryanto, and of course Wehrlein as well, who's got Kvyat right behind him at this point in time. As Haryanto now, they're making his way towards the second to last corner on the racetrack, trying to get as close to the walls as possible. You don't want to get too close to them because your race could end up being over as a result. So, reason why I'm not really a fan of this track is I just don't understand the layout of it, really. I don't understand why there needs to be all these narrow bits on the track. I get it's a challenge for the drivers, but it just opens up too many red flags, in my opinion, and who wants to see that every season, in my opinion? I get that it can mix up a race, but having a red flag every season, it just gets a bit repetitive, in my opinion. So there has to be a balance in terms of when it's deemed acceptable for a red flag, if you get what I mean. Now, of course, Haryanto has just pitted, so Alvarez now retakes the lead, but meantime, we look at Pierre Gasly, who's on the back of Alvarez's teammate, Benjamin Pryor. Pryor looking to do his teammate a favour, but it looks like Gasly's going to get the overlap on him, going down towards turn number 3 on the track. On the inside he goes, just enough space, but Pryor misjudged the barrier there, clearly gave him too much space, and he ends up whacking it into the wall, and Pryor finds himself out of the race. A disappointing rookie error there from Benjamin Pryor, and he finds himself out of the race. Not Gasly's fault at all. That was clearly a pure driving error there from the Welshman. Meantime, we've got some more side-by-side action going on here. Try and avoid the wall, guys, if you can. Thankfully, they did. That was, I don't know who that was, but it looks like it was Wehrlein, actually, who just lost the place there to, I couldn't quite tell who that was, but it looks like Wehrlein's now trying to get back on the guy in front of him. He's also got one of the Willows cars behind him. I'm not sure which one that is, so it's either Chi or Ocon, as Wehrlein now trying to make his way around the outside. Can he do an Akashwara style overtake around the outside? I don't think so. He's not quite got the overlap there on the guy in front, as he's now going to try and make his way and try and overtake again down into turn number 3 if he can. Try and avoid the wall if you can, boys, and thankfully they have. So Wehrlein retakes 10th position as a result, and has got himself a little bit of a gap as a result, as now he's going to try and take 9th position now, away from, I believe, that looks to be, from the looks of it, might be, I don't know, Brendan Hartley? I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't quite tell with the helmet, but he gets himself up into 9th place regardless. Now his next target is going to be Artem Markelov, I believe, because Wehrlein now up to 9th position. He's already made his pit stop, I believe, so now he's going to try and get himself into the points if he can in the BWT car. He obviously had a beautiful livery in the main series, and it's definitely looks a lot better now. It looks like the updated livery definitely suits it well. The purple really suiting the pink vibe that's going on this car, and also the different shade of pink as well that's going on there as well. As we continue to look at Wehrlein now, then he makes his way around the left-hander. Now here he goes, and he's already on the back of Artem Markelov now then, as these two continue to fight for 8th position now then. Wehrlein desperate to get himself into the final points place as he makes his way around the left-hander now then. We're on lap 22 of 28. Alvarez has got a 1.6 second lead between himself and Pierre Gasly. I wonder if Gasly started to close in a little bit, because that gap looks a lot closer than what it was before the pit stop, but Wehrlein wasn't able to get the overlap on Markelov there, going through into turn number 2. So he's just going to have to stay behind him through turn 3. As now, meantime, we are having a look at, who is this we're looking at? I believe this is Akashwara, in fact. It is Jaime Akashwara. It's Jaime Akashwara on the back of Sergei Sirotkin now. So we've got a battle for 5th position going on here between the Russian and the Spaniard. Akashwara, can he pull off a move that he did a little bit earlier on? Can he hang it around the outside through turn number 2 now? Then he's going to try and do it. He's still alongside him. Can he get the overlap before going into turn number 3? Side by side they go, and he has done. Akashwara up into 5th position. So a great pass again from the Spaniard. So he makes his way up into 5th position. Sergei Sorokin tried to have a little look at him there into turn 3, but wasn't able to make the mistake. Now, meantime, we're looking at a replay now then between Wehrlein and Sorokin. Has Wehrlein been able to get the move done? I think he has done, and it looks like he might have use the fresh tyres to good effect, and he gets the move done around the final corner. So a great move there from Pascal Wehrlein. He now makes his way up into the final points position, taking that points place away from Artem Markelov, and we now have 6 laps to go, but now we're on the final lap of the race, and here is your race leader, Cristobal Alvarez. It's a 1.9 second gap now between himself and Gasly, so he's opened it up by 3 tenths since the last time we checked up on them, but a brilliant race overall from Cristobal Alvarez. Apart from that little blunder that he had from Max Verstappen on the first lap, he has been in control of the race, and he's demonstrating the pace that he was able to show towards the back end of the FF2M main series when he took part in the final weekend at Barcelona, showing some great pace, and it looks like he's going to continue that into the FF2M Asia series. It's going to be a great start for the Uruguay driver as he makes his way now then around the left-hander, now then heading in towards the demanding hairpin for the final time today. You can just about see Gasly in the background, and of course Kvyat and Bird, who are still is that Bird actually? I think that might be some traffic actually, but anyway, either way, here comes Cristobal Alvarez now then making his way down the hill for the final time, heading towards the second to last corner for the final time today as he makes his way around the long swooping right-hander, getting as close to the wall as he can as he now makes his way towards the final corner on the racetrack. And it's been a brilliant race for the Uruguay around the final corner, and Cristobal Alvarez is going to take the first victory of the 2014-15 FF2M Asia Series. He wins the feature race here at Macau. A fantastic performance from the STV racing driver, and fully deserved from him indeed. Gasly second, Kvyat third, Bird in 4th, Akashwara in 5th position. Very close between the top 5 in the end. So here are your final results then. Cristobal Alvarez takes the first win of the season with Pierre Gasly in 2nd. Denny Kvyat is in 3rd, with Sam Boer in 3rd in 4th. Jaime Akashwara in 5th, with Sergei Sorokin in 6th. Graham Harrington himself and Pascal Wehrlein completing the points in 8th for Shake and Bake Jr. Jaime Akashwara setting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:55.771, so he gets the bonus point, of course, for the fastest lap of the race here at Macau. And Markelov just missing out on the points there as a result of being overtaken by Wehrlein towards the closing stages of the race. But here is the early championship standings. As you can see, Cristobal Alvarez sitting early in the championship with 14 points to his name, because of course he got the pole position and the fastest lap bonus point. Got the pole position, I should say, in qualifying. He leads it ahead of Gasly. Jaime Akashwara is up into 4th, thanks to him getting the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race, although I do think he should be behind Bird, because Bird obviously got 4th place and Akashwara got 5th. In the team championship though, STV Racing take the early lead in the championship by 6 points ahead of Magnum, with Gajera in 3rd and Espanol in 4th. OLM Racing are in 5th, with GRM in 6th. Pedersen are in 7th, with Shake and Bake Jr. last to have points in 8th, with AJ, Liquid Target and Willows the only teams yet to score a point this season. So there you have it then. That has been it from the feature race here at the GUI circuit at Macau. A fantastic opening race, and hopefully the sprint race will deliver. So we will see you guys tomorrow then for the sprint race here at Macau. But until then, I've been Joseph Willows, and I will see you guys very soon. Take care.